Welcome back to the channel for another exciting video about our congestion charge in London. So if you watch this video to the end, you will understand why I'm frustrated with this current position that our mayor in London has taken and how it impacts the poor people in our society. So those of you who visit London or live in London will know that to go into central London, you have to pay £11.50 just to enter that zone. So that's £11.50. It's about $15 roughly, a lot of money to just enter central London. The way this has been created and sold to the population is that they're trying to reduce the congestion in London and have cleaner air. In reality, it's just a money-making scheme because in London, they have narrowed all the roads. Where you had 2 lanes, now they've reduced it to 1 lane. They've made the footpaths or pavements very wide, and they say it's to encourage people to walk. London is a very, very big city. For those of you who don't live here, may not realize it's about 50 kilometers from one side to the other. And even central London is massive. It's roughly about 10 kilometers or maybe more, maybe even 20 kilometers from side to side. People don't walk that much in London, and with all the public transport available, if it works efficiently, people wouldn't need to walk so much. Our weather doesn't allow us to walk so much because it's always wet and raining, and when it's hot, it's extremely hot, so you would just boil. Anyhow, that's not the point. The point is there are not enough people walking, and you can't force or encourage them to walk just by making the pavements wider. So what they've done is they've widened the pavements on either side, but also they have made the central reservation or the pavements dividing the two-way traffic much wider, and as a result, instead of having 2 lanes on either side, in most of those places you have 1 lane for the cars. So if the government was really serious about reducing congestion, they would make the traffic flow instead of having these massive traffic jams. They've created their traffic jams to give people the illusion that there is a lot of traffic. Ken Livingstone, the previous left-wing Labour mayor, he increased the time spent at traffic lights, and he said that was to discourage people from driving. So basically you're stuck at a traffic light for longer, and your car is pumping out all these pollutants and fumes rather than you getting to your destination. This is all just a big scam designed to fool the masses who believe that somehow the government is reducing pollution. They're not. They're not doing anything. This is just another stealth tax to make money. The current mayor, Sadiq Khan, he is just a buffoon, a complete moron who hasn't done anything for London except for make our lives difficult, those who live here. So what he's doing now is, after this lockdown is over, so the transport for London obviously didn't have enough people traveling for 2 months, it's lost a lot of money. It's supposed to be a government-run service, but it's also kind of autonomous in a way that it generates its own revenue. So they've decided, okay, how can we make money? So I received this email, which is why I thought I should make this video. It reads, as part of our plan to help London reopen carefully, safely and sustainably, the London Congestion Charge and Ultra Low Emission Zone and the London-wide Low Emission Zone have been reinstated. So they had disabled them for the coronavirus lockdown period because obviously there weren't enough cars driving, and they were pretending that they're helping the essential workers to get to work. And it says, this is to discourage unnecessary journeys by road to help reduce pollution and congestion on London's roads. So unnecessary journey. I don't know how many people just get into their car and think, right, I'm going to go get stuck in central London traffic for 2-3 hours because I just feel like going out into central London and being stuck in traffic and burn fuel and damage my car. People who go there for a reason, to do some shopping or to do some work or anything that is really important. So this bullshit email from the mayor is just a complete facade in a way that they're pretending that they're helping people, but they're actually doing this to make money. Wait for it. I'll carry on. As an existing auto-pay customer, the congestion charge will be automatically applied to your account if you drive within the congestion charging zone. So I have set up on my car the automatic congestion charge payment. So if I go into the zone, it takes the money automatically. And also, if your car produces more pollution than necessary, on top of this congestion charge, there's an ultra low emission zone charge, which is £12.50. So you pay £11.50 to get into central London or drive into central London by car. And then you pay another £11 or £12.50 if your car doesn't meet the regulations. And these are aimed at high polluting cars and diesel cars. Let me remind you, it's the same people who supported having diesel cars, and they told everyone we should have diesel cars. Diesel is the way to go. It's the cleanest fuel, because I can guarantee that these left-wing politicians were in the pockets of car manufacturers or oil suppliers or something to do with the diesel fuel, because they all were supporting it so much. They're not stupid. I mean, you drive behind a diesel car and you know you can't even breathe. So telling people that diesel was the clean fuel and then 5-10 years later making a U-turn. So this is all just a big scam. And it says further down, to encourage walking and cycling, TfL proposes to implement a number of temporary changes. When has there ever been a temporary change to any tax increase? They are always permanent. After a while, people get used to it and no one complains. So what they're saying is that they're going to increase the charge from £11.50 to £15. Okay, so this is just to enter central London. This says currently the congestion charge operates between 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So, and it's on weekdays, but they're saying extending its hours of operation between 7 a.m. until 2200, so until 10 p.m. at night, 7 days a week. Closing the resident discount to new applications, so people who live there are not going to get discounts, so you're stuck. If you happen to have a house in central London, you're screwed basically. And removing the auto-pay discount. So currently, if I've got an auto-pay system, instead of paying £11.50, I think I pay £10.50, so I get a £1 discount or something. And so they're removing that. Basically, this is just a way of making money, and they're saying this will come into effect from the 22nd of June, and it's going to be there. Okay, it doesn't even say how long it's going to be there for. It just says temporary changes. This could be there for 6 weeks or 5 years. They could just keep it open. So basically, our mayor Sadiq Khan is showing his corruption through this. Once again, I am so sick of these left-wing mayors and politicians who come and destroy our cities and our countries, and then they disappear and we have to pick up the pieces. Ken Livingstone, the last guy who came before Boris Johnson, ruined London, and he put all these buses called bendy buses, so 2 buses connected together with the little flexible thing in the middle, and that was to go through London, and he was saying, I am saving the city and reducing pollution. Those buses killed people, they got stuck in various places, created havoc on the streets of London, traffic jams, and then millions of pounds wasted. Those buses disappeared, sold them to some other country for peanuts. What happens to all the money that these people waste? There is no accountability. No one goes to jail for destroying our city or going through public funds like it's their personal money. And then when they start running out of money, they put these stealth taxes. This isn't democracy. If we can vote on Brexit, such a big thing to say, are we going to stay within EU or not? Surely we can ask people who live in London whether they want to pay £15 to get into central London or not. instead of just forcing it upon them. This isn't democracy, this is dictatorship. And we are getting used to this. So normally I'm a conservative and I support traditions and values and all that, but in reality, the way things are going, if there was a rebellion or a revolution, I would be leading it, because our country is going to shit and our politicians are crooks and thieves, especially the left wing. And the thing is, this is a problem with the conservative supporters. We are too nice. We don't want to say anything against the left wing. You go on the internet and everyone is swearing and shouting and abusing the Conservative Party, but you don't see any Conservative parties, because we stand on this moral high ground that we're not going to say anything against the left wing. Well, the moral high ground is becoming very lonely, and the left wing is just taking the piss, as we call it in English. So I thought I should make a quick video about why I am angry with the current situation in London. I mean, not just this. Imagine all those little shops that are out there whose business relies on people picking up things and driving. Obviously, most people will stop doing it, because by the time the congestion charge is over, and that's 10 o'clock, all the shops, everything is closed. I, for one, sometimes go into central London to specific shops and businesses after 6 o'clock in the evening, because that's where I can get my food and various important things. Now I won't. So my business that those people were getting, those shops will suffer and those businesses will suffer. But Sadiq Khan's coffers will be filled with money. And then he'll say, oh, this is an economic crisis as a result of coronavirus. If anything, they should have just abolished these charges for an extended period to allow people to go in and do their shop and business and things like that, so the economy would improve instead of making it impossible. The other thing is, this left-wing government constantly portrays itself as it's helping the poor. Is this helping the poor, really? So all the rich people in their chauffeur-driven cars, they were paying £11.50 and didn't seem to care. For them, paying £15 a day doesn't make any difference. The poor people, on the other hand, who couldn't afford before and were going later on in the day, or were avoiding as much as they could, but going once in a while, are just going to be completely put off. So this is opening up the streets and easing the congestion for the rich. Thanks for watching. I hope this was of some use. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and more videos to come.